Hello, my name's Loretta, and welcome to my brand new YouTube channel. I am so grateful that you're here because my intention for this channel is not just to create a YouTube channel, but to create an online community where together we are creating success stories. I named this video Just Get Started because honestly, it's the advice I needed to tell myself. And we do rise by inspiring and lifting others, and sometimes we need to follow our own advice. Let me tell you something that happened to me just last week. I got a call completely out of the blue by someone who I deeply admire. I've known her a long time. She's an entrepreneur. She's very successful. Called me completely out of the blue with something, and then we got to chatting, and she admitted that she was going to get a YouTube channel started. And she was a bit scared. And I was shocked because this woman was so successful, so confident, so optimistic. She would be amazing at a YouTube channel. But we got to chatting about it, got to figure out what it is that she was afraid of. We talked about it together, and together we rose out of the situation. I admitted that I myself have been wanting to create this YouTube channel for a while. I was hoping actually to launch it at the end of 2023, and it is now February 2024. But that's okay, some things came up, and it didn't quite start when I wanted it to initially, or when I was thinking I was going to. And I was sitting on it for a little while, and as a person who studied videography and video journalism in the past, you'd think that I could just get started and get the ball rolling and just do it. But for some reason, after a long hiatus from it, I lost a lot of confidence, and it got very difficult for me to get started again. But through the help of helping others, I got out of my funk. We talked about it. We talked about her channel. We talked about my channel. We talked about what was stopping us. And through that and my own advice, really, I said, you know what? I just got to get started. It was the same advice that we both had for her. She had to get started. You're watching this channel for your own reason, and you're watching this video for your own reason. If you clicked on Just Get Started, obviously there's something on your mind that you want to start as well. Chances are this is not new. You've been thinking about it for a while. You've been procrastinating perhaps, and you've given yourself so many reasons why you're avoiding that inevitable start. Now, the first thing I'd like to say to you is, it's okay. Now, really, it is okay. I started this channel about 2 months later than I was expecting to, but it's okay. It's okay. You start when you start. And honestly, it's meant to start when it's supposed to. The more you resist persists. We've heard that before, right? And if you could just embrace and accept whatever it is that's holding you back, it's likely fear of the unknown, fear of uncertainty, whatever it might be. I just want to acknowledge right now that that is okay. I've experienced it. I'm experiencing it right now because I'm just getting started. And this other woman who I told you about, who I know would be so successful at a YouTube channel, was also feeling a sense of fear. So if that's what you're feeling right now, I just want to acknowledge for you that is completely normal. Do not beat yourself up on it if that's what you're feeling, because you are not the first or the last person to feel that way. This sense of uncertainty is anxiety provoking, but it also can have some sense of excitement and curiosity and fun attached to it if you want. Now, I don't know what you're starting, but aren't you curious? What is it about this particular venture that even brought you to this point? You had to be curious about something. You had to have wanted it at some point in your dreams, in your goals, in your imagination. What is that? if you haven't admitted to anyone else, take a moment to admit it to yourself right now, that that is something that you want to start, and whatever's holding you back, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry if it's a little personal, but it's probably you. I know that because I was holding myself back too. Sure, I could find so many excuses from the external world as to why I was not starting this YouTube channel, but it was honestly mostly me. One of the biggest reasons, this sense of feeling that it has to be perfect. And it stops all of us if we let it. It has to be perfect. It has to be the perfect time. I have to be this certain way. I need to know a certain amount of things, or I have to have a certain skill level. No, you just have to get started wherever that might be. I was doing a video a couple of days ago for someone, and I don't know where that might end up, but I suspect it's going to be somewhere on the internet. And I decided that for me, I just wanted to get that video done in a genuine way, and I wasn't aiming for perfection. During that filming of that video, I had this hair that kept coming into my face, and I just kept blinking and going like this and trying to shove it out of the way. I don't know what it was that I didn't just take 2 seconds to clear my face, move on. I guess there was some sense of perfection that I didn't want to show that there was some hair coming into my face or whatever. And honestly, when I watched it back, I was just screaming at myself at the screen saying, why didn't you just take 2 seconds to move that hair out of your face? It would have been so distracting. And honestly, that hair coming down was a little frustrating. But I also didn't decide to redo the video or not do the video because I had to have my hair all perfect. Those instances where we try to be perfect or aim for perfection could easily stop us in our tracks. In fact, going back to my hair, you can't see it from the frame of this video, but my hair extends all the way to my waist, and it's been like that for a very, very long time. And I remember when I was hosting this television show, probably about a decade ago, and the producer wanted me to cut my hair because she said, nobody on television has that length of hair, nobody has that long hair, I need you to cut your hair. And she kept insisting and doing this over and over and over again. And of course I wanted to do a good job, and of course I wanted to impress my producer, and you know what? As I contemplated and contemplated it, I ended up going on this shoot, and we were in someone's home in their kitchen, and our production was paused because the lady's teenage daughter was coming into the kitchen begging her mother for hair extensions. And I just had a bit of a laugh, and I told the teenager that it's so funny that you say that because my producer has been bugging me for a while about cutting my hair. The teenager says to me, no, don't do it. And it wasn't really about that, but it was just to solidify to myself that that was not a decision I needed to make. Who cares if not everybody had long hair on television? It didn't have to be perfect. It didn't take away, I don't think, from what I was doing and the show that I was doing on television. And honestly, it was taking away from who I was uniquely and who I am to try to please someone else or to be like everybody else. And why? You know, whatever it is that you're wanting to start, even though I don't know you, I know this. You have enough who you are and what you bring to the table to start right now. You don't have to have a certain length of hair or cut your hair or grow your hair, whatever it is. You don't have to perfect your hair to have that certain thing or whatever it is that's holding you back. You just have to get started because you are good enough wherever you're at now. And let's hypothetically say, okay, something in you is saying, no, really, there is a few things I gotta do before I do that thing. Let's say that you wanna lose weight. okay, what's that thing holding you back? Well, can I give you a couple examples from my own life? I was probably in my early 30s when I went to this seminar, and a friend invited me, and it was called Feeling Good from the Inside and Out. I was open-minded. I thought, okay, I'll come to this thing. Sounded really great. This personal trainer explained how to feel good from the outside, and he asked this question to the room, and he said, how many of you think that women shouldn't strength train? As you can imagine, not one hand went up. Now, honestly, who had the guts to put their hand up, even if that was what they were thinking? But why would you even think that? To be honest with you, I was sitting there with a bit of objections of my own, because I grew up thinking that cardio was the thing to do. It was the 80s, and I woke up before school to do this 20-minute workout with these people with big perms and fluorescent bodysuits and leg warmers, and it was all about cardio for us women growing up. And it wasn't until my 30s, or my early 30s, I believe, when I went to that seminar, and this personal trainer was giving all the benefits to why women should strength train, and crushing all the potential objections like getting big and bulky that us women may not like. But the positives outweighed the negatives, such as osteoporosis and all those type of things, and it made me want to do it. Thing is I was skinny, scrawny, not that strong, and when I first got into the gym, yes, it was quite intimidating, not knowing what to do and not knowing how to strength train, but even more so that a lot of this equipment that's on the gym floor was designed for the average man, and I'm a little person. When I got started, I remember trying to do the chest flies, and I was trying as much as I can, and I could not budge the weights whatsoever. So I hired a personal trainer, and I remember when I got started, I had 3 pounds, little dumbbells on each hand, and I was on the bench kind of doing this. And of course, everybody's in the gym for their own reasons and not worried about me with my 3-pound weights. But yeah, for me, it was intimidating. Doing this with 3-pound weights on a bench, it's hard to get started, not gonna lie. And let me tell you the fun fact that happened after that. I don't remember if it took weeks or months or who knows when, but one day, just out of curiosity, I went back on the chest fly machine, that one that goes like this. And remember, when I first started, I could not budge it. But after working with a trainer, starting with those 3-pound weights, and I stuck to it, one day I pushed with all my might, but instead of going like this and not being able to budge it, it did one of these. And I have no idea when that happened. See, the thing is I don't know when that happened, but all I knew is that it only happened because I got started. And I'm encouraging you to think the same. Yeah, maybe you can't get started at this level with the machine, but can you get started with 3-pound dumbbells? Yeah, maybe you can. But let's say you can't. Let's say you're not there yet. You can still start somewhere. Can you just take a tour of the gym without lifting a weight? If, let's say that your fear of getting started in the gym is the fear of just going to the gym. Maybe you'll go there, take a tour, and realize, you know what? This looks interesting. This isn't actually that intimidating. This could actually be fun. Why not? But the thing is it doesn't matter where you begin. It only matters that you did. Here's another example of going to, not so much going to the gym, but maybe a health goal. There's a friend of mine who has been overweight. Oh, here's that hair getting in my face. There you go. I just brushed it away. There's a friend of mine who is a bit overweight and had been for a while. And she wanted to lose weight. And where do you start? If you've been overweight for a very, very, very long time and you want to lose weight, where do you start? For her, maybe there was some motivation, she didn't know how. But I recall back then, she decided instead of trying to do it on her own, she went to her doctor. She was getting a bunch of health problems as a result of her weight, and she went to go see a doctor and put her on a medical assisted weight loss program. Thing is we could all choose to do something like that. In my case, I saw that personal trainer that started me on those 3-pound dumbbells. In her case, it was a doctor. The tip there, if you didn't catch it, was that maybe you don't know it all, but you can find somebody who can help. Just a little tip there. But now, why did she get started in the first place? And what was it that made her stick to it? Well, in her case, she had a young son. And I mentioned she was getting some medical issues. And she wanted to be healthy for her son. She wanted to be energetic. She wanted to live a long, healthy life. She wanted to participate in these active things that her young son was getting involved in. And as a result, she started. She worked with a doctor, and at the time, she lost 50 pounds, and she got off a lot of the medication, and her health improved. So, the moral of the story there, having a big why. One of the things that can hold us back is that we don't have a big enough why, a big enough purpose for what we're doing. But you know what? Sometimes if we have a big why, a big purpose, and a big goal, like being healthy and energetic for her son, it's a pretty big, important goal, no? Yes, very much so. So, that big, big goal made it so big and so important and so amazing for her life that goal, she had to get started. So, whatever it is that you're wanting to do, that you might be hesitating on, that you might be procrastinating on, why do you want to do it? Put in other terms, how would your life be so much better if you started? My second favorite saying in the entire world is a Tanzanian proverb, and it says, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Just get started, even if it's that little step, even if it's taking that tour to the gym, lifting the 3-pound weights, or going to go see your doctor about that weight loss program. Whatever it is that pertains to your situation, any little step built one on top of the other could lead you towards your goal. My friend's 50-pound weight loss, me being able to do this with a machine that I couldn't do before, or whatever it is that you're dreaming of. Can you think about it? Can you feel it? Can you imagine and believe what this feels like for you once you've gained that success, once you've gained that momentum, once you just make a decision, and it is a choice, to just get started. I encourage you to please put a comment in the comments below if you're wanting to spread the word in this new community that you made a decision, you made a choice to get started, or share a success story, or encourage someone else to do the same. This video isn't perfect, wasn't expecting it to be perfect, but you know what? Something imperfect started is better than waiting for that perfection and not getting started at all. Where would I be if I never picked up a 3-pound weight? Where would you be if you never got started? Thank you so much for joining. I am in deep gratitude for you for joining, because honestly, if it wasn't for you, this channel would never exist. Thank you so much for joining. I applaud you for getting started, stepping into whatever new journey you are going into, and I'll see you in the next video.